Hey everybody, this is Commander Bacon, and today we are going to tie two different kinds of knots. We're going to learn how to do it, so stay tuned. All right, so we're going to learn two different knots today. The first is the figure 8 knot. See how it looks like a figure 8? I think that's why they call it that. And then second is the famous Boy Scout joining knot, the square knot. Okay, so it's two interlocking loops like that. Okay, so first we're going to talk about what's their uses. So what in the world is a figure 8 knot used for? It looks like nothing, right? It's not tying anything. It's just a knot in the middle of the rope. So the figure 8 knot is used as a stopper knot at the end of a rope. It was also used to weigh down rope, used on water, and to decorate the ends of rope. So what do you mean weigh down rope used on water? Well, if you ever seen these big ships come in and dock, they have these big, huge ropes on them with big, huge loops. Well, the guys on the boat, they can't throw that big rope because it's just way too big. I mean, it's like this big around, huge, massive rope. So what they would do would be throw smaller rope that are attached to the bigger rope, and then somebody on the dock would pull the smaller rope and drag it to the dock and then hook the loop over the pier. So in order to throw a rope, the end of it has to be weighted. So that's part of what the figure 8 knot was used for. The square knot goes, and all these go back to the sailing days, right? So the square knot is also called a reefing knot. And there's a special type of sail on the sailing ships called the reefing sail. And I don't know much about that, and we really don't need to know much about that. So it was used for tying reefing sails. It's also used to tie packages. Whenever you tie string around a package and tie it up together, that's the knot you're using. It's also used for tying tourniquets. It's also the knot that you use when you tie your shoelaces. Now, you have a quick release version of the square knot when you tie your shoelaces. That's what the bows are. The bows form the quick release. You can pull on the ends and it comes apart. And it's also used in lashings. So now I'm gonna turn the screen around and I'm going to show you how to tie these knots. So stay tuned. All right, so first we're going to do the figure 8 knot. So all you do is form a loop like that. You go around the standing part with the end and then go above this loop that you formed and down through it. And that's all it is. It's that easy. I'm kind of casting a shadow. So I hope you can see that good. See that? Let me do it again. So to me, it looks like a fish, right? It's kind of like a fish. And if you do it above it, it makes it easier. So there's your fish. You're gonna wrap the tail around the whole way around and then go through the fish's eye. Does that make sense? You have to comment on the video if you don't get it, and then I'll do something different. Okay? So that's all it is. It's a very simple knot. Again, make a fish, go the whole way around with the end, and down through the fish's eye, that loop. Pull it tight. You can kind of work it tight. And there you go. Simple figure 8. Okay, the next one is a square knot. So the easiest way to remember this is the old right over left, left over right. So this is my right hand, this is my left hand. So it's important for you to know which one's which. Most of us should have a grasp on it. I apologize to all my dyslexic friends. Okay, this is going to be hard. So you take your right hand, it goes over the left, around. Now they're both up again. Now I'm going to take the left, go over the right one, around and through that loop. And there you go. And it should form two interlocking loops with the ends on the same side. See how the ends are on the same side of that? That's important. So why is that important? Because if I pull on these, it gets tighter. See that? It stays tight. If I would have tied it a different way, okay, so I'm gonna do it a way that you shouldn't do it. You always want to do the left over right, or right over left, left over right. Okay, so this looks the same, right? Looks like the same interlocking loops, but the ends are on opposite sides. This is called a Deceivers Knot. If I was to pull on this, you can see it actually starts working loose. I have to kind of pop it a couple times. And if the whipping wasn't on the ends, it would probably come straight unloose. So what would happen on the sailing ships, the old sailors, they would just have a cloth bag, a canvas bag that had all their possessions in it. And what they would do, they would tie the top and tie a square knot to cinch it off, right? If they suspected someone was stealing from them, they would tie the Deceivers Knot. Because it looked so much like a square knot, whoever was stealing from them would untie the knot, steal their stuff, and tie a square knot back again, not knowing that they had tied the Deceivers Knot. Then they know for sure someone stole from them, and it was probably not a good end to the story for the person who was stealing from them. So that's the two knots for today. Again, the square knot, right over left, go around that the standing part, okay, have both ends sticking up again, and then left over right, around and through, and pull it tight. Did that show up good? Does that make sense? Okay, so let me flip the camera around. Okay, so that's the two knots, the figure 8 knot and the square knot. Tying knots is a skill, and any skill requires practice. So take these videos, or this video, and go over it over and over again. Go to some place and get yourself a decent sized piece of rope. The smaller the rope, the harder it is sometimes. So this is like half inch nylon rope. Get you some of that. Usually if you go to like Lowe's or someplace and they have it on the spool, they have a special heated tool to cut it. That'll cut it and fuse it all at the same time. So if you need like a 2 or 3 foot piece. Okay, get that and practice. Get to the point where you can tie these things with your eyes closed, because these two knots are very simple. And like I said, you're tying the square knot already when you tie your shoestrings. You're just making a quick release knot that you didn't realize you were doing, but it's a square knot. So anyway, I hope this was educational. Hope you got something out of it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. And if you didn't, don't hit the thumbs down. Just don't say anything. Be nice. But if you did like it and you want to see more of this, go to the subscribe button and hit that bell. Make sure you hit the bell. That way you'll be notified every time I add a new video. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. I really appreciate you. This is Commander Bacon signing off. See ya.